Hello Immortal News family, and welcome back to our channel. In the last 24 hours, we have received the somber news of the passing of extraordinary talents, and today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Before we start, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Number 7. Cleto never took it for granted. He loved being a part of it. Those were the words of Jimmy Kimmel, remembering his lifelong friend and bandleader, Cleto Escobedo III. For over 2 decades, Cleto brought laughter, soul, and sound to late-night television, serving as the heartbeat of Jimmy Kimmel Live with his band, the Cletones. He passed away unexpectedly at the age of 59. His loss is felt deeply by fans, friends, and fellow musicians. A beloved figure in both the TV and music worlds, Cleto's legacy runs far beyond the spotlight. Born and raised in Las Vegas, Cleto grew up surrounded by music. Encouraged by his father, a gifted musician himself, Cleto's path to greatness began early. He honed his saxophone skills along the Las Vegas Strip and quickly carved out a name for himself with his powerful sound and natural charisma. He performed with legendary artists like Earth, Wind and Fire's Philip Bailey, Paula Abdul, and Mark Anthony. On stage, he was electric, effortless in style and overflowing with joy. Offstage, he was compassionate, generous, and known for lifting others up. With Jimmy Kimmel Live, Cleto didn't just lead the band, he helped shape the identity of the show. His bond with Jimmy, dating back to their days as childhood neighbors, brought a rare authenticity to late-night TV. That connection carried over into everything he did, from mentoring young musicians to supporting music programs in his community. Cleto's music spanned jazz, pop, and R&B, with projects like Lost Blues Volume 1, showing off his range as a composer and performer. But more than any solo or spotlight, it was his presence, steady, upbeat, and kind, that made him unforgettable. He died following a brief illness, and while the public mourns, his family, including his father Cleto Escobedo Jr., now holds close the man behind the music. Cleto Escobedo III leaves behind a powerful legacy of sound, spirit, and service. To all who knew him, he was not just a musician, he was music itself. Tributes to Cleto Escobedo. Number 6. She brought people together, not just over meals but through warmth, spirit, and a spark that lit up every room she entered. Mynie Steffens had a gift for making traditions feel new and flavors feel like home. To meet her was to be welcomed, to watch her was to be inspired. At just 43, South Africa has lost a brilliant light. Mynie passed away in a tragic helicopter accident during an agricultural flight near her beloved Eastern Cape, a region she championed with heart and action. Mynie was so much more than a TV personality. Her show, Speel met Voer, didn't just teach us how to cook. It celebrated South African heritage, revived forgotten recipes, and encouraged experimentation over open flames. Each episode felt like an invitation to live more fully. A published author, Mynie shared her love of food through beautifully crafted cookbooks, blending storytelling with mouth-watering tradition. Her approach was inclusive, playful, and always from the heart. She mentored young chefs, led food workshops in remote areas, and made everyone believe that a shared meal could change the world. Incredibly, she also held a helicopter pilot's license. Her flying wasn't just a thrill, it was a mission. Whether delivering supplies, spotlighting local farms, or supporting community projects, Mynie blended her passions into purpose. A colleague from the food world said it best. She wore joy like an apron and shared it with everyone at her table. Mynie's energy was contagious, her legacy lasting. Her love of people, her belief in South African roots, and her tireless generosity have left a mark that won't fade. She is survived by close family, who have asked for privacy as they mourn this heartbreaking loss. There will be time in the days ahead to gather, to cook, and to celebrate all she meant to us. For now we remember the laughter, the sizzling flames, and the woman who taught us that passion, when given freely, nourishes everyone. Tributes to Mynie Steffens. Number 5. Her voice will always echo through the halls of Turkish music. Those were the words of her longtime manager, Taner Budak. Words that sum up what Muazzez Abacı meant to millions. A voice full of elegance, emotion, and richness, Abacı shaped Turkish classical music like few others ever have. From her early days at Ankara Radio to sold-out performances in Istanbul's greatest halls, she enchanted generations of listeners. She began her journey in 1966, but it was her breakthrough hit, Bir Sen Kaldın İçimde, that first turned heads. Later it was Vurgun, with lyrics by Cemal Safi and music by Selçuk Tekay, that sealed her place as a legend. Her signature style brought new life to classical Turkish music, blending tradition with soulful expression. Her 1975 album, Muazzez Abacı Söylüyor, marked the start of a long and celebrated discography. Throughout her career, she recorded countless albums, each filled with sorrow, beauty, and unmistakable grace. Şakayık remains a fan favorite, still playing on radios and in homes across Turkey. In 1998, the Ministry of Culture and Tourism named her a state artist, an honor highlighting her cultural significance. But beyond titles and accolades, she remained deeply admired for her warmth, generosity, and mentorship to young talents. She also left her mark on television, as a judge on music programs, and brought joy in unexpected places like her playful 2011 commercial with Gönül Yazar. Her charm was effortless, her presence undeniable. Friends recall not just her art, but her heart. Fans speak of how her songs marked moments in their lives, joy, heartbreak, and healing. For her daughter, Saba, she was a figure of strength and love, even in her final days. Muazzez Abacı passed away at 78, while visiting her daughter in the United States. Complications related to her heart and kidneys led to her peaceful passing. The music world mourns her deeply. Social media lit up with tributes as news spread. Her artistry touched too many to count, and her voice lives on, in recordings, in memories, and in the soul of Turkish music. Tributes to Muazzez Abacı. Number 4. She turned pain into purpose and made the country better for it. Baroness Helen Newlove passed away at 63 after a short illness, leaving behind a legacy of strength, compassion, and unstoppable determination. Her journey into public life began after the devastating loss of her husband Gary to a violent crime. But instead of retreating into grief, she stood up, for victims, for families, for communities, and never looked back. As the UK's Victims Commissioner, she became a powerful voice for those who too often go unheard. Her work led to real change, laws adjusted, systems reformed, support strengthened. Her voice wasn't loud in volume, but powerful in message. Rooted in deep empathy, Her advocacy brought comfort to victims and accountability to institutions. Helen was elevated to the House of Lords as Baroness Newlove of Warrington, a title that captured both her achievements and her roots. She also earned several national recognitions for her tireless service to justice and public welfare. But beyond titles and legislation, it was Helen's warmth and authenticity that left the deepest mark. Whether speaking to a school assembly, mentoring a grieving parent, or giving evidence in Parliament, people listened, because she spoke from the heart. A colleague at a leading victims charity said, "Baroness Newlove was a beacon of hope and has left an enduring legacy for victims across the UK. She is survived by her 3 beloved daughters, who stood by her through tragedy and triumph alike." Baroness Newlove's life reminds us that courage often comes quietly, and that true leadership is driven by care for others. Her efforts to make streets safer, build community strength, and demand justice changed lives forever. The country has lost a tireless champion, and her absence will be deeply felt. But Helen's spirit lives on in the safer neighborhoods, the stronger laws, and the survivors who now have a voice because she spoke first. Tributes to Baroness Newlove. Number 3. It's not just about playing notes, it's about sharing joy. That was something Guido Di Leone often said to his students, and he lived by it every day of his life. Guido wasn't just a master of jazz guitar, he was a guiding light in Italy's music scene. Born and raised in Bari, he gave his city a heartbeat of jazz, inspiring generations with his soulful tone and tireless devotion to the art form. At just 21, he founded Il Pentagramma, a music school that would become a haven for budding musicians. Over time, he helped hundreds of students find their musical voices. His classroom wasn't just about theory or technique, it was about connection. He recorded nearly 100 albums, both as a leader and collaborator, playing alongside legends like Paolo Fresu, Johnny Basso, and Peter Bernstein. His first album, All for Hall, was a tribute to Jim Hall, his earliest inspiration. Guido's sound was warm and clear, thoughtful and bold, a voice instantly recognizable in the jazz world. Outside the studio, he brought jazz to the heart of Bari. He directed the Duke Jazz Club, curated festivals, hosted music shows, and promoted jazz throughout Italy. From the Conservatorio Niccolò Piccini to vibrant jam sessions, his presence lifted every stage he graced. For 10 years he served as professor of jazz guitar at the conservatory, blending strict classical roots with his open and passionate jazz approach. He also wrote a popular jazz theory book, making complex ideas accessible to newcomers. Guido passed away unexpectedly of a heart attack at 61. The news shook the jazz world. Tributes flooded in, students, colleagues, and fans recalling how he had shaped their paths with encouragement and care. "He gave you space but held you up when you needed it," said a fellow guitarist and longtime friend. Though he's no longer with us, his music, teachings, and warmth live on. Guido Di Leone didn't just play jazz, he nurtured it, taught it, and gave it a home. Tributes to Guido Di Leone. Number 2. His optimism and courage touched everyone who knew him, and Connecticut weather will not be the same without him. Geoff Fox didn't just forecast the weather, he was a steady voice in people's homes for decades. With warmth, clarity, and trust, he helped viewers across Connecticut prepare for whatever came next. For over 40 years, Geoff guided communities through snowstorms, hurricanes, and sunny days alike. Beginning in 1984 at WTNH in New Haven, he quickly became the station's senior weeknight meteorologist. Generations came to rely on his calm presence and precise reports. His dedication brought him 7 Emmy Awards and the deep appreciation of colleagues and viewers. Later, he shared his talent at Fox 61 in Hartford and again after moving west, adapting to new technology and remote broadcasting. He never stopped learning, never stopped helping. Geoff's love for science extended beyond weather. He hosted the Sci-Fi Channel's Inside Space, showing the same clarity and wonder that marked his forecasts. But his professional legacy is only part of the story. After being diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, Geoff shared his experience openly. He gave hope to others, showing strength, humor, and vulnerability in his posts and public updates. Through the hardest moments, he continued to encourage, teach, and inspire. Passing away at 75 after nearly a decade-long battle with cancer, he faced everything with grace and gave others the strength to do the same. His decision to enter hospice care was introduced to the public with the same honesty he always gave his audience. Co-workers and fans remember a man who was as kind off camera as he was informative on screen. He mentored younger journalists, welcomed questions, and never lost his sense of humor, even in the storms of life. Geoff is survived by his wife and family, who stood by him as he stood by us through the years. He leaves behind a legacy of knowledge, compassion, and unwavering presence. His voice may be silent now, but his influence remains strong in the hearts of those he reached. Tributes to Geoff Fox. What's trending on the internet? News 1. If you've ever needed a dose of positivity, here's some wonderful news about America's beloved country icon, Dolly Parton. At 79 years young, Dolly has been facing some health challenges lately. She recently postponed a handful of Las Vegas shows and took some extra time for treatments after experiencing kidney stones. After the loss of her beloved husband Carl Dean, Dolly admits she's been through a tough spell, but her spirit remains absolutely radiant. Dolly shared with fans that she's getting better every day, reminding us all that, in her words, "I ain't got time to get old." For over 6 decades, she's inspired millions with her music, kindness, and resilience. Even now, she's busy writing new chapters with her latest book, star of the show, My Life on Stage. To everyone who's been praying or worrying, Dolly says there's no need. She's not ready to slow down or say goodbye. From her early days singing on the porch in Tennessee to today, she's proof that a loving heart and a hopeful attitude never go out of style. As she approaches her 80th birthday, let's celebrate Dolly Parton for the remarkable journeys she's shared, the smiles she's given, and the faith and energy she brings to every stage. Dolly reminds us how beautiful life's second and even third acts can be, and that's a legacy worth singing about. News 2. Emily Kaiser, a beloved social media personality and mom from Arizona, is honoring the memory of her 3-year-old son Trig, who tragically passed away 6 months ago. In a heartfelt message, Emily shared the immense loss her family feels and how Trig was truly their best friend, bringing light and joy to everyone around him. She hopes that by openly talking about their experience, she can help raise awareness about child safety and prevent such heartbreak for other families. Emily expresses deep gratitude for the outpouring of love and support from friends, family, and even strangers in this difficult time. Moving forward, she's committed to protecting her family's privacy, but promises to share more about her journey with grief when she is ready. Trig's bright spirit will always be remembered, and his story may inspire safer, more loving homes for children everywhere. News 3. What a remarkable family story that has touched the hearts of so many over the years. Mia Farrow, now 80, is a well-loved American actress and activist who raised 14 children, both adopted and biological, always striving to fill her home with love and compassion. Though her family faced enormous joys, they also endured profound loss, including the gentle passing of Tam, her adopted daughter, more than 2 decades ago. Mia has always been open about her children's experiences, celebrating their unique talents and bright spirits. When Tam passed at just 17, Mia described her daughter's struggle with health challenges and how her memory shines on, cherished by her family and those who knew her. In sharing these memories, Mia reminds us that every family, no matter how famous or private, faces trials. But with grace and strength, she honors her children's lives with love and dignity. Today, Mia Farrow continues to inspire us. Her dedication to humanitarian causes serves as a testament to turning grief into hope. As we remember Tam's gentle spirit, let's celebrate the resilience and compassion that defines the Farrow family, and let their story encourage us to cherish and honor those we love every day. News 4. It's a somber moment as we reflect on the courage and dedication of the 20 Turkish service members lost in a tragic plane crash on November 11, 2025. The military transport plane, a venerable Lockheed C-130 Hercules with decades of service, took off from Ganja International Airport in Azerbaijan and was en route to Mirzafon Air Base in Turkey. Shortly after crossing into Georgia, near the border with Azerbaijan, the aircraft broke apart in the sky with no distress signal sent. Rescue teams from Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Turkey responded with urgency, working together in hopes of finding survivors. Leaders from across the region, including Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Azerbaijan's President Ilham Aliyev, shared heartfelt condolences and support, honoring the lives lost and uniting communities in grief and remembrance. Though the details remain under careful investigation, what stands clear is the immense bravery and service of those on board who traveled in the line of duty. Their legacy will live on in the hearts of family, friends, and a grateful nation. As we remember these heroes, let's honor their commitment, keep their loved ones in our thoughts, and find comfort in the unity shown across borders during these challenging times. News 5. Regina Santos Aviles, age 38, made a remarkable impact as a staffer for Congressman Tony Gonzalez in Uvalde, Texas. Earlier this fall, the community was saddened by her unexpected passing. Regina was found alone in her backyard, and officials have confirmed she died in a tragic fire. Throughout her career, Regina was known for her unwavering dedication to helping others and her tireless service to the people of Uvalde. Her kindness and commitment earned deep respect among her colleagues and neighbors. As we remember Regina today, her legacy lives on in the positive change she inspired and the warmth she brought to all who knew her. The community continues to honor her memory by supporting one another, just as she always did. News 6. It's always touching to hear about everyday heroes whose kindness touched so many lives. Today, we pause to remember 39-year-old Charmaine Serrano of Philadelphia, whose radiant spirit left an unforgettable mark on everyone she met. Charmaine was out walking one night in Feltonville when a tragic hit-and-run accident took her life, leaving her loved ones heartbroken. Described by her family as a loving mother of 3 and someone who greeted everyone with warmth, Charmaine's memory is cherished by her children and her large, close-knit family. While we honor the joy she brought to her community and hold her family in our thoughts, we're reminded of the power of compassion and family bonds. Charmaine's love and generous heart will be remembered for years to come. Number 1. Love yourself because you're the king of your own life. Those simple words, spoken with glowing sincerity by Michael Willis Hurd, became a guiding light for millions. Michael passed away in early November 2025 at the age of 47. He died peacefully due to health-related complications. His passing leaves a tender silence in a digital world once filled with his booming "Yes, King" affirmations. Born in Elyria, Ohio, Michael built a life centered on healing, growth, and human connection. As the vibrant force behind the online identity Love and Light TV, he broke through the noise of social media with a voice that inspired confidence, joy, and purpose. His signature phrases, "Yes, King," "Love yourself," and "You matter," quickly became viral. More than just catchphrases, they turned into healing rituals for those quietly struggling. Millions found encouragement in his short videos. To some, they were entertainment. but to many, they were a lifeline. Michael's influence extended beyond the screen. As a pastor, life coach, and wellness advocate, he worked closely with individuals and communities. He mentored, guided, and lifted countless lives through candid talks, charity work, and spiritual support. Whether in front of a camera or in a quiet room, his compassion felt personal. His social media wasn't about chasing fame. It was about creating a safe space for laughing, for crying, and for remembering your worth. The digital community he fostered was genuine, supportive, transformative. Public support following the announcement of his death was overwhelming. His daughter, Michael Crumby, shared, "My daddy man, I'ma miss you so much, King. You really messing up the family with this one." Her words cut through the grief with a beautiful honesty that matched her father's own voice. Michael's legacy is not measured by followers or views, but by the lives he touched. He taught the internet that vulnerability could be powerful, that joy could be healing, and that love, especially for yourself, is vital. He is survived by his loving daughter and family members. The world now carries his message forward. Stay kind, stay royal, and never stop shining. Tributes to Michael Willis Hurd. There should be no confusion about her identity after this blazing comet of a performance. Those words from the Los Angeles Times described Sally Kirkland's unforgettable role in the film Anna, but they also capture the essence of who she was: bold, brilliant, and impossible to overlook.